Well, our hangout is on air, Greg, and I'm glad that you're here on board with us. My name is Art Jones. I'm the founder of the Art of Inbound Marketing and Art Jones TV, and I'm your host today. And I am so happy to have a colleague that I've known for many years is making time for us this day to share his wealth of knowledge and experience that helps business owners, because that's the business that he's in, helping business owners accomplish more. So welcome, Greg Stewart, to our Google Hangout on Air.
Well, I appreciate the invite and also the honor of joining you. I really look forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I know Greg well, but I know you and the audience might not, and as opposed to doing just a cursory overview, I'm going to read a summary of his experience so you really know who we have the honor of speaking with today. Greg works with strategic. He's a strategist. He's a visionary. He's an entrepreneur, and most importantly, a team player. He's focused on aligning business goals and business needs with your strategic plan. He's a specialist in transforming your business operational performance to reduce your cost, increase customer satisfaction, and improve your profitability. He facilitates business improvement workshops and keynote speaking to help you and your team leverage the social media networks, recruit and hire key people, grow and manage your business, and improve time management and personal management skills. And if that wasn't enough, he's the founding member and owner of NexGen Management LLC, which is he's an accredited business coach, as is his NexGen Management company. He's an active member of the Mount Olive Area Chamber of Commerce, and I believe, Greg, you led that chamber for many years at one time, isn't that right?
I'm back to president again.
Acting president of the Mount Olive Area Chamber of Commerce, and very active in the Morris County Chamber of Commerce, where he's an ambassador, still leading the technology committee. Is that right?
Not anymore. I'm now co-chair of the Leadership Morris Alumni Association.
Co-chair of the Leadership Alumni Association. All in New Jersey. He volunteers extensively for several nonprofits. He's on the board of directors at the Hackettstown Regional Medical Center Foundation, and works diligently in the In Awe Foundation to serve others. His experiences include over 30 years in marketing, sales, and operations. He's a founding member of BizDoctors, which is a key business partner networking group, certified in incident and emergency management, has taken several courses to improve his skills in that area. He's appointed to the Board of Examiners of the Baldrige Performance Excellence Program National Review Team, which is a big deal for me. BA, master's degree in business administration. It goes on and on and on, but I really want you to understand that we're talking to a executive with years of business experience that is not just working with enterprise class companies, which is the domain that he comes from, but he shares of that wealth of knowledge with small and mid-sized businesses, solo entrepreneurs, and professionals. So we are so delighted to have Greg take of his time to chat with us. I want to key in on one thing that was in the last little bit that I talked about, because in my career many years ago now, I had the privilege of working for an enterprise class company, Fortune 100, Xerox Corporation. I learned many things there. One of the great experiences, however, was when Xerox really undertook the mission of becoming a Malcolm Baldrige certified company. And we called it Leadership Through Excellence. And in that Malcolm Baldrige effort that spanned several years of Xerox turning around its enterprise and looking inward to assure that each employee and every employee knew what quality meant. And I'll just summarize the takeaway that I had. When I was on a team and I was tasked with providing a report to a teammate, I was really taught through leadership through quality and leadership through excellence that report was to be perceived as important as it would be as if I was giving it to an external customer. because I was giving it to an internal customer, my colleague on my team. And that set the tone and the standard for us at Xerox. We worked diligently to prepare every document, every presentation, every conversation in a way that, whether it was an internal customer or an external customer, quality was top of mind. But Greg isn't just trained in the Malcolm Baldrige Performance Excellence model. He's on the board of examiners that really looks at companies that are striving to achieve leadership through excellence, and he validates that they're on the way and understands how to help them get to the next level. So, Greg, take a minute and talk about your experience with the Baldrige Performance Excellence and being one of the board of examiners for the U.S.
Yeah, it's actually, thanks, Art. It's pretty interesting because same with you. I came from a corporate Fortune 100 firm, specifically AT&T, and a lot of the stuff we were always measured under quality, performance, and so forth. And then when I left about 10 years ago, I started my own business. A lot of the disciplines that are involved with the Baldrige of all the components of the business, I made that great leap of faith of moving from Fortune 100 into a entrepreneurial, smaller startup type businesses and businesses that were stuck, saying that you don't need all of those principles. Well, absolutely incorrect, because Baldrige really does re-emphasize the fact, and it all depends on the complexity of what goes on all layers of the business, from the person managing the business, to the managers, to the people, to the process, to the tools, to the delivery and support of the clients. All those things are measured and often overlooked, as same as I did in a very naive way in the very beginning, of saying you don't need every component with a business. Well, that's totally incorrect, because it really is all about customer satisfaction and how much are you really losing when you're delivering and supporting services to a client. If you're always in a rush, everything's a fire drill, you're not doing it in an efficient manner, you're not doing it in a consistent manner, you're not doing it in a repeatable manner. And all those type of disciplines I've applied to my part of the business, and when I work with a client, focus on it. So the Baldrige group really helped me a lot. And they do when you're involved with the program, you actually spend a full week being recertified each year as to here are the principles you have to do, test cases, and so forth. So the teams, when they put them together, which normally consist of about 7 to 10 people, all around the country, out of all different lines of business, and all of our backgrounds are different yet similar in some cases. So when you're reviewing a business that submits for the Baldrige National Quality Award, you're actually looking at all the different components and how they measure themselves, how do they deliver their services, their products, support their people, how are they measuring their profit and loss. All the components of a business that you really can operate a business in an efficient manner are looked at. And there's a variety of different criteria and submissions, everything from education to small business to large business to the medical and healthcare fields, which are absolutely the most active for the quality awards. It really gives you a whole different perspective and really re-emphasizes the fact of how important all this little I-dotting is in the back office. And one of the things that my business was based on and I leverage off of is the fact that it's one of the things that people will often overlook, because every business will quickly invest in marketing and sales. Why? Very quick return on investment, while ignoring the stuff in the back office where you consistently can deliver in a much more profitable manner, or you're wasting money in an effort to pull people from say a production line and throw them at, hey, we got to go implement this. And so that type of variations and ups and downs in a company can cost hidden cash into all companies, and that in particular is what I always leverage and focus on. And I also look at that from the re-education of Baldrige and the principles that we all grew up with in the corporate field, everything from Six Sigma right on through to Baldrige, and it's often forgotten about, but it's something that you shouldn't ignore. It is absolutely critical to how you deliver and support your clients. A happy client normally will not trash you.
Well said. And last night somebody was asking me, we were talking about how I was using Hangouts on Air and the interesting people that I was having conversations with, and they said, well, you said you're talking to somebody tomorrow. Tell me a little bit about who they are. And I thought for a second, and I suggested to them that Greg Stewart is an outsourced CEO, COO, Chief Marketing Officer, or Chief Revenue Officer for any company, large or small. And you know, for me, that is a good summation of the way you take in quality in your enterprise class experience and now deliver it to all kinds of businesses, all kinds of vertical markets, because the notion that you know how to lead because you've done that, you understand marketing, you've done that on a national and an international level, so you're uniquely equipped, both in experience, skill set, and certainly in temperament, because you like people so much that I know that you're gratified every time you see somebody move their needle and go forward and get closer to their goals. But so that's what I told my friend and colleague last night when I was summarizing who you are. Was I off the mark, or how do you feel about that summation that I gave?
Well, I absolutely appreciate it, and I take great pride in the fact that you said, like, if I can help somebody, it delivers great pride. And that's why if you look at the way I try to do business is twofold, one of which is what I do for my paying clients as well as what I do for volunteer work. And I'm in a fortunate position now in my life where I can volunteer time as well as also work for clients at a pay-for-it type of an arrangement. I joke around, my wife always jokes around with me, is today a payday or a volunteer day? My normal answer is yes, because I normally do both on the same day.
Well, that's a good thing. You know, I talk an awful lot when I'm talking with clients about the notion, do you want to make money or do you want to make meaning in your life and the lives of the people you work with? And I wait for the answer. And it's a 60-40, 80-20 kind of split. Most people simply want to make money. But after you explain the notion that if you make meaning, you'll make money. And if you make meaning in your life and other people's lives, you'll make more money because it's more satisfying and you become more passionate about the mission. Because when you're just out to make money, unless you're Gecko from Hollywood, it's not that easy. You have to wake up passionate about wanting to serve. And I think, I've read a Forbes article earlier this year, I think it was February of 2014, and they said, the marketplace has changed. We are no longer driven by Madison Avenue to eat Frosted Flakes, to buy a car every 2 years, to smoke cigarettes. So many things that we were encouraged to do by Madison Avenue that drove revenue in the last century. In this new century, we're 14 years into it now, we have the benefit of all the social and mobile media, and I'm reaching for one of my cell phones. I actually have two, one on a tripod and this one. And that's because we're empowered because of the technology that we have to be in control. And we're in control of the businesses that we're in. But because of these devices, we spend more time in those businesses. And the article said that because we're spending so much time in our business, because we're so connected and we're so empowered because of that, the flip side is that we're turning inward and wanting to be more connected with ourselves, our families, our communities, and the things that we're passionate about and the other people that we want to serve that are not as fortunate as we are. And this notion, as you, I know, are committed to making meaning in your life and the lives of others, that's why you do so much pro bono work. I think the tide has turned, and in this century and going forward, all striving to find a way to connect with the meaning in our own lives, the meaning for the businesses that we're in, and then using that as a driving force to accomplish more, certainly financially, but of course in the meetings with the people that we serve to help them accomplish more. Because if each of us does that, we'll be in a happier place as a society. So that's I know your contribution, and I honor you for taking that tact, and I certainly try to emulate and share that notion with people that I talk about, the professionals I talk about, and the business owners I talk with.
There's a quality of life issue that making money is one thing, but there also need, to your point, each one of them needs to push back once in a while. Reward themselves for success, and don't be afraid to reward yourself for success, and not just get down on yourself when something's not working right. And that quality of life issue is a hard thing when you're trying to grow a business, because you can get consumed by the business, and that's always a danger zone. That's why an outside set of eyes is very, very helpful for any business owner. So just get a sanity check. It doesn't care who it is, as long as it's not somebody sitting within the business. It should be an outside set of eyes that says, all right, you're not doing this right. Take it, push back. And that's just a danger zone that every single business owner or manager can fall into. It's a trap that we can all get into. And it's just something that you always have to be careful of, and do address the quality of life issues. Like I said, I can now volunteer. When my corporate days, I didn't have time to do that because I was doing a lot of international traveling, a lot of different things. Couldn't do the things I can do now. So I take advantage of that part to give a lot more now than I could prior to this.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, and the summation that I gave my friend last night when I was saying that I think of you as an outsourced, a for-hire CEO or COO or CMO or CRO. The thing that it just occurred to me, and I should have thought of this last night, is that, because this is a core competency of yours and something I know you're passionate about, the executive coach in you, that you rather coach somebody to fish for themselves, become their own stronger, more capable CEO or chief marketing officer or chief revenue officer, coach them up so they could then serve themselves for the rest of their lives, as opposed to parachute in, take the responsibility, and do it for everyone else without making them smarter in the process. So your executive coaching skills, I know you leverage an awful lot, and you use those coaching skills to serve as kind of an outside set of eyes, or the board, kind of board member, if you will, that can tell sometimes a business owner what they need to know, because they live in the bubble of their business. Right now we're in the fourth quarter of 2014. Business owners are going crazy trying to make their targets, and very often they're so busy focused on closing out 2014 strong that they have no idea what they're going to do in the first quarter of 2015, which is the business planning, which I know is a big part, again, of your business model.
That's funny you said it. Last night on a call with one of my clients, him and I just had that chat last night about what about a fast start for 2015. And because it's easy to get consumed and lose track of that, and to what is your real goal and how you're going to achieve it, and then not just measuring, but also taking action and responsibility for it is also a key determining for anybody successful in business. Yeah.
Well, this is good stuff. I know you've got a hard stop, and there's so much that we can expand on. I know our audience is kind of on the edge of their seat saying we want more, because I do. Will you come back and chat with us again, I hope?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Beside the fact, with a couple of things you and I personally worked on with customers together, I owe you a couple anyway, so absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks so much. Next time I'll show you one of my bragging points is my 3-year-old granddaughter.
Nice.
Love Granddad, my favorite cup, right? So I've got my favorite beverage in here, and I hope our audience grabs their cup, maybe like mine or different, but gets their favorite beverage, gets into a comfortable spot in front of their laptop, PC, or mobile device, and tunes in the next time Greg Stewart's online with us, because Greg has an awful lot to share because he's had a lot of experience. And he would say that he knows where the alligators are in the swamp, so you don't have to get attacked by them. He can
and
tell
again,
you
I apologize for having to go, but I have a commitment with one of the local businesses in my area. But let's schedule more time. The next time, I'd love to do it again.
Fantastic, Greg. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again soon.
I appreciate it, Art. Thanks and everybody for the opportunity.
Okay, bye-bye.